Another 20 years and back whistleblower talks about covert Space Marines recruitment. This is something that William Tompkins talks about when he's interviewing concerning the Solar Wrden and the secret space programs. Basically, these are things run by the US Navy, he says, and he was designing aircraft carriers for the US Navy, and he was also designing spaceships for space. Now, if you want to listen to what he has to say, he's got various interviews that are on YouTube. William Tompkins. Now, Carrie Cassidy also interviewed him a few times on Project Camelot. Now, concerning this, it's something similar to what he was explaining to us in those instances. This is on Humans Are Free by Alexander Light. When people with incredible professional credentials come forward to talk about being covertly recruited for a 20 years and back mission in space. In other words, it was 20 years that they had to put into it. That also have key pieces of collateral to prove their claims. It makes it hard not to listen, to at least ask more questions. This is by Christina Sirac, guest writer. In a video created by Dr. Michael Sala, there are two videos in this link, two YouTube videos. Michael Christopher Gerloff, a former Marine and police officer for the city of Seattle, as well as a UN peacekeeping advisor who went on a mission to Liberia, describes his recruitment into a secret space program, loosely referred to as the 20 and back. After a high school party with friends along a country road, Gerloff noticed a white light that moved very quickly on the horizon. He relates an aerial display that violated the laws of aerodynamics as 18-year-old Sin 1978. He states that in the cornfield in front of him and his friend there was a black triangle. He and his friend were astounded and went on with life. He also says that he was enamored with space and had always wanted to travel into space and be an astronaut. He also says that as a high school student, he intended to enroll at the University of Missouri and originally had no intention of going into the military. He relays a story of a Marine recruiter who made eye contact with him when he was at school one day, and the rest of the story becomes very interesting. After taking an ASVAB, a test all recruited people have to take before entrance, the recruiter told him he had done very well. This is when he learned of the Marines Reserve Special Enlistment Program, even after expressing interest in going active duty. A skip ahead, and Gerloff went off to boot camp for the U.S. Marine Corps when he was asked if he wanted to serve in a 20 and back program. He has partial recall of the intake process to become a space marine, quote unquote. The first part of his testimony can be viewed below in the video, titled Covert Recruitment into Space Marines 20 and Back Program by ExoNews TV. Now, Gerloff was provided military and police records that corroborate key aspects of his testimony and contain many anomalies which point to his 20 and back service. He believes that his coming forward has been sanctioned by a USMC Department of Navy intelligence group established by President Dwight Eisenhower, which is actively promoting disclosure of a U.S. Navy secret space program. His initial 6-year contract with the U.S. Marine Service, the Reserves, turned into partial service in the 20 and back space program. Gerloff details that he was taken by a secret underground rail system into an intake center. Others have stated there was a vast underground network of high-speed rails that exist underground and connect far-flung areas of the globe, utilized primarily by the military-industrial complex. He doesn't have clear memories of everything that happened while in service, but some memories have come back, although he states, quote, it is a bit fuzzy, end quote. But there were other personnel who were waiting to complete intake paperwork for the program. He remembers signing NASA paperwork in particular. He also says that corporate entities, in particular Lockheed Martin, was mentioned in the paperwork he signed. Gerloff's testimony can also be compared to that given by Corey Good, who also says he was part of the 20 and Back program, although perhaps for a different part of the military. William Tompkins, he's the man that I was talking to you about at the beginning of this video, the engineer who was designing the U.S. aircraft carriers and then also later the spaceships. William Tompkins, he's deceased now, has also been sanctioned to talk about the secret space program as well. Among covert intel is the ability to age regress, memory wipe, and travel through time, all related to the secret space programs. Michael Gerloff's additional testimony relying on what happened once he agreed to be part of the 20 and Back program can be followed in part 2 of this Covert Recruitment into Space Marines 20 and Back program. And I'll leave the link below for you, and you can watch the videos if you'd like. Please tell me what you think about this. Thank you. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.